Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good. And here you found the goodest good possible, the greatest show about happiness, joy on the internet. Finding happiness and joy with Edwin and Barry. There is no greater show on earth. Welcome. Get ready. Buckle up, because you're about to find happiness and joy. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good-looking because you're always looking for and finding the good. That's the definition of a good-looking person. Looking for and finding the good in life. And you found good in abundance. You have consciously and conscientiously tuned in to what I consider, and tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands of people around the world consider, the greatest podcast regarding two subjects that everybody is interested in: happiness and joy, and how to live in happiness and joy every single day, no matter your circumstance. You tuned in for this show for one reason and one reason only. And it's the best reason, by the way, in the whole world, because you care the most in the entire world about you. Y-O-U, because the show is all about you. That's really Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy, Edwin Edwards, the chief happiness officer. We're here for one reason: to facilitate the ability for you to learn how to live in happiness and joy every single day, no matter the circumstances. Now, that's why we're here. That's why you're here. So let's join together. By the way, join is spelled J-O-Y-N. You love that? Put joy in your life by joining together with like-minded, like heart-oriented, like good-speaking people. That's an important fundamental and foundation of living happily and joyfully every single day. Now, you will notice that there's only one person here at the moment speaking. My dear partner, Edwin, I'm happy to say, is using the summer time, these wonderful days of summer and fun and sunshine and love, to be with his family in his home country and home city of Nigeria. And the city is Benin, and specifically being with his mother and family, extended family. And it's really one of the best uses of anybody's time, isn't it? Is to be with people you love. Now, the good news is that hopefully you can translate that into the people of your family are the people that you love, and vice versa. Most of the time, that's correct. That's true. Sometimes there's friction, but you know something? Friction is good to create benefit. Remember, everything we do in life is good looking. We're always looking for and finding the good. It's incumbent upon us. You hear that? That's a great word. Incumbent upon us to make sure that we are the ones that are reducing the friction and making a seamless situation. And a seamless situation without friction is so wonderful. And it's easy to do. Okay, not always easy, but it's certainly capable of doing it. The word us, by the way, US stands for United Souls. When you can internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life this kind of awareness of words, of acronyms, that when you say us, we're talking about United Souls. So let's just do a couple of things right now. Housekeeping. My dear partner, Edwin, as I said, is thankfully visiting his home country and his home city and his family in Nigeria. He lives most of the time in Northern California, where it's relatively easy to get a good connection with the internet, and therefore we can touch people all over the world. Right now, tens of thousands of people are listening and watching, and you're bookmarking this podcast the first and third Thursday of every month. The first and third Thursday of every month. So we'd love you to book it in. So it's always there for you. It's only a half hour and it's impactful. And what we'd like you to do also is make sure that you begin to invite family and friends, because that's what's happening right now. Started out with just a small, maybe 2 or 3,000 people. Now there are over 80,000, and I believe we'll be at 100,000 within the next week or so. And then what we'd like you to do is share that with 5 people, so we can hit and touch, not hit, we can touch 500,000 people within the next few months. And then really create what we call the tsunami of goodness everywhere. A tsunami of goodness. And it's all because of you. Again, one person makes a difference in life. So it's incumbent upon you, we hope, to not only share this, like it. Yes, wherever you listen to podcasts, rate it and say, we love it. Share it. Spread the joy and happiness. So it's the summertime. And Edwin and I are both in agreement that summertime is a time of expansion, a time to recognize that there's a lot of daylight, a lot of sunlight, and to use that in your life. Now, it's interesting to note, by the way, that we're already past June 21st. June 21st is the longest day in the calendar year in the Northern Hemisphere. Obviously, it's the shortest day in the Southern Hemisphere. We're talking mostly people in the Northern Hemisphere, but just to be aware. So it's now decreasing amount of sunshine, but it's only minutes, but it should be noticeable to you, because really what you want to do is you want to absorb the sunshine. That's right. It's not that we get too much of it. We often get too little of it. And let it animate you. Let it touch you. Let it be part of you. So I'm going to speak for Edwin, because Edwin does something that is truly important, impactful, insightful, the 3 I's. And he touches the 3 W's. The 3 W's are asking yourself, who am I? Why am I here? And now that I know that, or at least begin to know that, what am I supposed to do? Right? Who am I? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? So Edwin himself was moved by these 3 W's to go out into the area where he lived in Northern California. And over the course of more than a year, what he did is he interviewed people, not a 6-second TikTok show. He interviewed people about happiness. What makes people happy? What makes you happy? And he asked questions, and he collated and coordinated over 1,000 answers from 1,000 people, and began to create a picture and understood something fundamental and amazing. What is fundamental and amazing? That happiness is a skill, and a skill can be learned. A skill can be taught. And when you recognize that happiness is not an emotion that you are addicted to, in other words, mood. Mood is a great word, by the way, M-O-O-D. If you spell it backwards, what does it spell? D-O-O-M, doom. When you are addicted to your moods, or you let your mood dictate to you how you feel, then you're not using the greatest, most beautiful, most powerful engine that exists anywhere in the multiverse, and that is your mind. When you are mind-centered, you can now direct yourself to be heart-centered, and therefore learn the skills that are available to you to live in happiness every single day. That's right. And as much a day as possible. I mean, Edwin is Chief Happiness Officer 24/7. Does that mean that there are never waves in his life that cause angst and difficulties? Absolutely. But like a great surfer, you learn to ride the waves, the giant waves even. And again, become a good-looking person. Always looking for and finding the good. So that's what Edwin brings to this remarkable show that we do together, the podcast, which we're here only to facilitate. We're here to serve. And when you're in service, you begin to understand that happiness and joy is a direct result of service. Isn't that amazing? Yes, serving is the greatest, the shortest, the most capable route to living in happiness and joy daily. So I'm going to share with you a couple of things. First of all, SHARE stands for spreading happiness and rejuvenating energy. Happiness is a great acronym. And one of the things we do on the show is alert people that we live with the three fundamentals of life. And when you use these three fundamentals, you will be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? And we guarantee it, or your money back. Happier, healthier, or wealthier. The three fundamentals of life, of course, are, number one, life. Your life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, number two happens. In this case, good number two. You go mad. Now, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for make a difference. Lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference in the world. And the third fundamental is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. I'll give you a simple example. www, ask anybody what it stands for. It has to do with the internet. And factually speaking, they're correct. Because we're now touching 100,000 people around the world. And God willing, you'll share those with 5 people. Remember, invite your family and friends. We'll touch 500,000 people pretty soon. So www in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant stands for what a wonderful world. And what is a word, right? WHATA, what a wonderful world. Now, of course, if you know music, you know the opening bars of What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong, Satchmo, which has gone viral and touched not just tens of millions or hundreds of millions, but billions of people around the planet. And the result of that is when you hear the opening bars, what do you do right away? You smile. You can't help it. Now, SMILE is a wonderful, important acronym that you should internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life, because SMILE stands for seeing miracles in life every day. That's right, seeing miracles in life every day. Let me share with you a great acronym, one for happiness and one for joy. Now, happiness is a long word, right? HAPPINESS, double P, double S. Happiness stands for helping all pursue purpose in nobly expressed soulful song. You love it? If you're listening to this, hopefully it'll be in the show notes so you can write it down later. Helping all pursue purpose in nobly expressed soulful song. Now, joy is a shorter word, J-O-Y, and therefore a shorter acronym. J-O-Y, joy stands for Journey of You. That's right. It's all about the journey of you. Remember, that's why you tuned in, because you care the most in the entire world about you. And that's great, because when you're the best you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony. You create more joy, happiness, peace, and love in the world. Now, oftentimes people ask Edwin and myself, well, wait a minute, that's easy for you guys to say because you're rich, you're handsome, you got great family, everything's easy for you. Easy? I don't know. Is it all true? Rich and handsome? Yes. We love living in joy and happiness? True. We love sharing that with people? That's true. Do we ever have issues? Of course. Let me give you a quick example. I'll give you stories about me. Imagine, if you can, standing up in the morning, hale and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, but that evening in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed from the neck down. Totally. All I could do was communicate by blinking my eyes. It's called a quadriplegic. It was not from an automobile accident. It wasn't a spinal injury. It was a rare disease, which I never heard of the day before. It took over my body and caused me to be totally paralyzed. 144 days in the hospital. That was 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home. I couldn't turn over by myself. 4 years in a wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, my hips to my ankles for years, and that was progress. Now, thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand. So I'm a triped, not a biped. I can't walk up a stair by myself. I can't walk up a curb by myself. And I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice, positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, all because of one word. Smile. Seeing miracles in life every day, no matter the circumstances. But I will tell you a quick story. My 8-year-old niece comes over to me a few weeks ago. And she says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile S-M-I-E-L? And I thought about it. Smile. Sounds the same. Why not? I asked her, how come? She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life. An 8-year-old out of the mouth of babes. But what was she doing? She was creating the kind of world she wants to live in. Now, create stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. It's about rethinking. It's what we call a shift in perspective. Now, I've been working with people for more than 42 years. And I can tell you, 97.2% of all people, when I talk about shift in perspective, they drop the F and the other stuff happens. You got to be effing careful with your Fs. It's a shift in perspective. We're talking about small, very small shift in perspective. The result will be that you'll be able to internalize, utilize, and leverage the 6 most important words you'll ever learn. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will not only help change or modify the path you're on, but the trajectory as well. So people ask us continually, well, again, yeah, but you don't know my story. Well, that's why I just told you my story. When I say my story is more difficult than yours, everybody has their own battle. Everybody, everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Therefore, be kind always. Kind stands for keep inspiring noble deeds. Let's take a look at something. It happened recently. I was in an Uber. Everybody knows what an Uber is now, right? In the old days, we called it a taxi cab. It's an Uber. Doesn't matter. I got in the car, very nice person, and the person was playing music on the radio. Everybody knows what a radio is, right? You do know what a radio is. And he's playing music that I didn't want to hear at that time. I was thinking about something else, and it was not the kind of music. We were off in our vibrations. Now, let me tell you what an amazing word, love, L-O-V-E. Love stands for living on vibrant energy. Living on the vibrational plane. So when your vibration is a certain way and there's a different vibration coming in that causes what we'll call, for want of a better term, off centering. So you want to make sure that you keep your vibration. So I gently and nicely asked the driver, happened to be a she, if she would turn down, I didn't say turn off or change it, turn down the radio so I was not able to hear it as easily. I did it with a smile. I did it with a soft voice. And guess what happened? She didn't say no. She said, okay, and turned it down. I didn't ask her to turn it off. Interesting enough, you know what she did? She turned it off and said, is that better? You hear that? Is that better? I said, yes, thank you so much. Thank is a great word. It stands for to harmonize and nurture kindness. To harmonize and nurture kindness. Let's talk about the radio for a moment. There are 3 amazing frequencies in the radio. One is called AM. Another one is called FM. Remember, I told you there were 3. AM stands for amplitude modification. How do you like that? But the important thing is that modulation is the key. Amplitude modulation. So modulate means to move. Amplitude has to do with the length, let's say, of the air of the waves in radio. Now, amplitude, you can amplify something. It means make it bigger, louder, more powerful. That's really what you want to do. You want to be involved with amplitude modulation regarding your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. And keep them in alignment and keep focus on the fact that they're always rooted in good. You want to keep your thoughts good, your words good, and your deeds good. When you can amplify your modulation of goodness and vibration, guess what's happening? Woo! You are in love. Remember, living on vibrant energy. And what about FM? FM stands for frequency modulation. Really important, vital to your life. What is the frequency that you are tuned into in your life? Tuned into someone else's frequency, which may or may not be to your advantage or to your benefit. You can choose the frequency that you listen to. You can shift. Remember, keep that F in place. You can shift your frequency. It's so simple. Again, we're talking about the radio. Use that as an analogy for your life. As easy as it is to shift the frequency on the radio, FM or AM dial, as easy as it is to shift that from a negative station to a positive station, that's how easy it is for you to shift into living in happiness, into living in joy. It's your choice. You determine what you listen to, what you say, what you do, and most important of all, what you think about. When you're thinking good and speaking good and acting in good and sharing with other like-minded beings in good, then your frequency is positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. Your amplitude is positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. So people ask me, Mr. Shore, you told me there were 3 frequencies in the radio world. And again, radio is an analogy for our life. And it's true. The third one is the most listened to frequency in the entire world. Everyone listens to this frequency. The frequency you want to tune into is WII-FM. WII-FM. Well, where do I find that on my radio dial? Barry Shore, Edwin Edderberry. Where do I find that? And once you tune into it, you'll always find it. WII-FM stands for What's in It for Me? Did you hear that? What's in it for me? It's good to ask that question. It's good to understand what's in it for me. What's in it for you to learn about the skills of happiness, the skills of learning how to live in joy daily? What's in it for you? The most positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant life possible. And as a result, you'll be happier, healthier. We're talking health, physical, mental, spiritual, and wealthier in every sense of the word. Who doesn't want that? What's in it for me is to be able to adjust the frequency, tune it in to where I'm living in positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant way, amplify it in such a way that I become a conduit of good. That's a cog. A channel of good. That's a cog. A child of God. That's a cog. A cog is usually considered a small part in a very large machine. There are no small parts in life, just small players. Every cog makes a difference. You hear that? You're a mad person. You make a difference in the world. Let's learn another great acronym. It is YAYA. YAYA. What did he say? YAW. YAW. YAW is one of the most important acronyms that you can internalize, utilize, and leverage in your life, because it stands for you are who you associate with. I'm going to let that sink right in. It's one of the greatest skills you can learn to be happy. It's one of the greatest skills you can learn to live in joy daily. Notice I don't say joy. Joy. When you begin to sing your life. Remember the acronym for happiness? Happiness stands for, again, helping all. That's it. Remember service? Helping all pursue purpose in nobly expressed soulful song. Okay, you don't have to be Barry Shore. I don't want you to be Barry Shore. There's only one Barry Shore. Be you. But learn to have a little lilt in your voice, a little pep in your step, a little upbeat in your nature. That's right, in your nature. No matter if your nature is your nature. You say, but wait a minute, Barry, my nature is I'm whatever. That's not positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. You can shift your perspective. We're talking small, incremental. We're talking about using the radio as the analogy. Frequency modulation is in your hands. What's in it for me? Living a life of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Amplitude modulation. That's what you can do. Yes, it's all in your power. Edwin and I have dedicated our lives for service. It has brought us great benefits. Money, relationships, good health. Yes, even though I was a quadriplegic, look at me now. Now, those of you watching say, wow, Barry, sure, you look great. I do. Great tan. I swim outdoors. We'll talk about that maybe in a minute or another show. But I can't get up from this chair right now. If you're watching, if you're listening, I can't sit up from the chair because I'm still basically paralyzed from the waist down. My upper body regained, thank God, a lot. So I now swim, and I'll talk about that in another show, how it happened. I swim 2 miles a day, 6 days a week, and I've been doing that for 17 years. I've accumulated more than 9,153 miles. So wherever you are listening to this, wherever you are, do a search. And from wherever you are, say, okay, how far away is 9,153 miles? Amaze yourself because it's more than a third of the way around the world. And again, everything we do from Edwin and Barry is about you. Y-O-U. You becoming the best you possible. Because when that happens, the world gets better. The power of one person brings about a shift in the entire world. So revel in it. Love it. Remember love? Living on vibrant energy, living on the vibrational plane. So from Edwin, the Chief Happiness Officer, and Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy, we urge you, please, share this with 5 people. Tell your family and friends. Rate the podcast. And we're giving a gift. I'm giving a gift right now. Free. Absolutely no cost to you. Go to barryshore.com/ebook. BARRYSHORE.com/ebook. And you can receive one of my 3 great books. Absolutely no cost. It's an electronic, anywhere in the world. It will make a difference in your life. You'll become more mad. You'll make a difference. It's transformative, not just informational, not just inspirational. It's transformational. What does that mean? That means that it's up to you to be able to bring the world you, because you do that in service, everything becomes better. So we're going to do 2 things from Edwin and Barry. We're going to do a big hug. Hug stands for heartfelt, unlimited giving. On the count of 3. Everybody around the world. 1, 2, 3. And a blessing from Edwin and Barry. Go forth. Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go mad. make a difference. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good